Hello there, it's good to see you again on 7Edition. I'm Zansha Rahizad and these are tonight's top stories. Cloud seeding to be conducted in haze hit Selangor. 370,000 ringgit recovered from 1MDB linked funds. And flash floods and severe weather leaves path of destruction in Spain. We begin tonight's bulletin with this story. Indonesia has sealed the land of 4 Indonesian palm oil companies, which have links to Malaysian companies, suspicion of open burning. All 4 of the companies are large listed plantation companies in Malaysia, which are owned by the Indonesian subsidiaries. Indonesia has seized the land of 30 other plantations, one of them being PT Ade Plantation and industry in Pelalawan Regency in Riau, Sumatra, on suspicion of forest burning. Checks are currently being carried out and data is being collected on other companies originating from Malaysia and Singapore, which have lands burning. Meanwhile, the ASEAN Specialized Meteorological Center said satellite surveillance detected persistent hotspots with moderate to dense smoke haze in Sumatra and Kalimantan. In Sumatra, persistent hotspots were detected in Riau, Jambi and South Sumatra, while in Kalimantan, persistent hotspots were detected in West, Central and South Kalimantan. Previously, Indonesia's Environment and Forestry Minister, Siti Nurbaya Bakar, denied Indonesia was responsible for the haze currently affecting Malaysia. However, the Malaysian government is saying the haze is originating from Sumatra and Kalimantan. The Meteorological Department plans to carry out cloud seeding operations in haze-affected areas in Selangor as the haze situation worsens in some parts of the state. Its Director General, Jailan Simon, said Sunday was the earliest the operations could be conducted given the unfavorable weather conditions at the moment. The disaster management committees at district and state levels were activated when the Air Pollutant Index (API) recorded readings of between 151 and 200 for more than 24 hours. Jailan said 2 planes are already on standby at the Subang Air Force Base to carry out the cloud seeding operations.
Untuk pemilihan awan ni kita perlukan keadaan cuaca yang sesuai lah. Kalau keadaan cuaca tak sesuai, kita buat pun dia tak jadi. Jadi untuk hari ni kita dah pantau tadi. Memang hari ini tak sesuai lah. Jadi yang hari sesuai kemungkinannya 15 ataupun 16 hari bulan macam tu. Tapi besok kita akan pantau lagi. Kalau sesuai besok kita akan terbang.
Officials said the haze problem in Johan Setia was not due to local factors, as they found no evidence of open burning at the area during the visit. Meanwhile, at least 29 schools in Klang and Kuala Langat closed today due to the haze problem, and this is up from 5 schools closed yesterday. Over 45,000 students will be affected by the closure. The API in Johan Setia stands at the highest in the country, with a very unhealthy reading of 243 as of 6 p.m. Some 370,000 ringgit frozen from 2 separate bank accounts in the One Malaysia Development Berhad 1MDB investigation has become the government's property. The forfeited monies were from Naza Quest Auto Sendirian Berhad and Maran MP Datuk Sri Ismail Abdul Muttalib. The government had earlier sought to forfeit 269,662 ringgit from Naza Quest Auto and 100,000 ringgit from Datuk Sri Ismail. Naza Quest Auto, via its counsel, told the Kuala Lumpur High Court today that it agreed for the amount in its Maybank Islamic current account to be forfeited to the government. Deputy Public Prosecutor Alan Suman Pillai of the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission (MACC) later confirmed the money transfer, saying Datuk Sri Ismail had also agreed to surrender the money through a letter dated June 24, 2019. To date, 8 of the 41 1MDB linked entities have surrendered money from their respective accounts to the Malaysian government. Two Cameron Highlands Land and District Office officials and a businessman have been remanded for 7 days. The trio were detained by the MACC yesterday on suspicion of being involved in corruption involving the use of government land for agricultural development. MACC Deputy Commissioner of Operations Datuk Sri Azam Baki, who confirmed the matter, said the arrests were made following information from the public, as well as intelligence gathered by the MACC team. The remand order was issued by Ipoh Assistant Registrar of Magistrates Courts and Magaswari. He said the activities had been going on for a few years and that action had already been taken early by the National Security Council under Ops Gading. However, those involved were found to have continued with their encroachment activities and polluting the water catchment area. Several other individuals are also expected to be picked up soon to assist in the investigation, while witnesses will also be called to record their statements. Meanwhile, in Cameron Highlands, 39 illegal immigrants were arrested in an operation held in Kuala Terla. They were rounded up in a joint operation conducted by the Immigration Department and the MACC starting at 3 p.m. yesterday. Most of them were reportedly working as laborers at vegetable farms in Cameron Highlands. 38 men from India, Bangladesh, Nepal, and Myanmar. Also detained was a Myanmar woman. A total of 93 foreigners at 7 vegetable growing areas were checked in the operation. All those detained were taken to the Immigration Department for further investigation. A 14-year-old boy died after he and his family members were thrown out of their car in an accident on the East Coast Expressway. The early morning incident occurred near the Kijal R&R as they were on their way home to Kuala Terengganu. The family were traveling in a BMW sports utility vehicle with the father driving. 40-year-old Muhammad Rizalmi Matromali had crashed into the back of a trailer, causing their SUV to flip multiple times. Everyone in the car was thrown out from the impact, causing teenager Darwish Haikal Muhammad Rizalmi to die from severe head injuries. His mother and 2-year-old sister suffered serious injuries, while his father and another 9-year-old sibling escaped with minor ones. The driver of the trailer was unhurt. In the meantime, the identities of 3 victims who were burnt to death in an early morning accident in Triang, Pahang 25 days ago have finally been verified. Their identities were obtained yesterday following DNA tests conducted by the Forensic Department in Petaling Jaya, Selangor. Authorities said the victims were Rosida Hashim, aged 46, from Johor Bahru, Johor, and her son, Abdullah Nila, aged 17. The other was her Pakistani husband, Shur Zaman Khan, 35, who was the car driver. On August 20th, rescuers found the charred remains of 3 individuals in a blue Proton Wira, which was believed to have burst into flames after crashing into 2 lorries at the Temerloh Bahau Road. The identities of the victims could not be immediately determined, as all their personal documents were also burnt. Their remains were claimed by relatives at the Sultan Ahmad Shah Hospital's forensic unit in Temerloh at about noon today and will be buried at the Bukit Alif Muslim Cemetery in Johor Bahru tonight. When we return, burglars' attempt to flee backfires. Stay tuned for the details. We're back with foreign news. What was supposed to be a grand closing for a religious ceremony at Lower Lake in Bhopal, India, turned into a tragedy. 12 people on Friday reportedly drowned after the boats they were in during the ritual capsized after it couldn't take the weight of a Hindu idol. Search and rescue efforts are still underway for one person unaccounted for. The boats carrying 20 to 25 people tipped over in the early hours as they were about to immerse an idol of the Hindu elephant god Ganesh. It was believed that the heavy idol caused one of the boats to be tilted before water started filling it. People on the boat who fell into the water started reaching out to the surrounding boats, which then started sinking due to the overcrowding. 12 bodies have been retrieved so far and have been returned to their families. Other drowning deaths during the festival occurred across the districts of Ratnagiri, Nashik, Sindhudurg, Satara, Dhule, Buldana, and Bandara. This week marks the end of the Ganesh Chaturthi festival, also known as Vinayaka Chaturthi, when colorfully decorated idols of Ganesh are immersed in water. The death toll from torrential rain and flash flooding in southeastern Spain rose to 3 on Friday after a man drowned when his car became trapped in a tunnel. 2 others died when floodwaters dragged their car and flipped it over. Severe weather warnings have been issued for much of the region as rescue efforts got underway in Alicante and other regions. The latest tragedy occurred in the city of Almeria when the tunnel was flooded by a huge amount of water in a few minutes. A policeman managed to rescue 2 of the 3 people in the vehicle, but the victim remained inside the car. The other 2 victims, siblings aged 51 and 61, were killed in the region of Castilla-La Mancha. Also in the province, 60 people were rescued from a campsite in the Cabo de Gata Nature Reserve. In the neighboring Valencia region, at least 2 rivers burst their banks, forcing the evacuation of dozens of people. The heavy rain, which started on Wednesday, caused chaos on the roads, cutting public transport and causing power cuts. Footage shown on Spanish television showed cars being swept away by fast-flowing water and flooded car tunnels. Schools across southeastern Spain suspended classes on Friday as the heavy rains are set to continue. In the region of Valencia alone, where schools were already closed on Thursday, over 500,000 students were affected. Now let's hop on to our daily segment Clickbait, where we take a look at what's trending and making the rounds in the cyber world today. We've all heard of scary daylight robberies, but you've probably not heard of this funny burglary attempt, where the thief parkoured his way out of arrest, only to get caught seconds later. Visuals of the heart-stopping chase went viral on Twitter and Facebook, which has raked in over an accumulated 318,000 views since its upload yesterday. Some armed with sticks, neighborhood residents teamed up with policemen chasing the runaway burglar as he swiftly hurdles from house to house. The incident occurred in what seems to be a new housing development located in Galang Patah, Johor. After all that Olympic-grade sprinting and leaping, the suspect wound up being caught by the police. A netizen praised the teamwork between the residents and the police, while some found humor from the video, as they were impressed at the man's hurdling skills. Now updated as of 7 p.m., here are the top trending topics and searches on the internet today. The government will not be bringing back the Goods and Services Tax (GST). Finance Minister Lim Guan Eng said the ministry had not heard of any proposals to bring back the tax system from economists to replace the Sales and Services Tax (SST).
I have not heard that proposal, but I think we have already abolished the GST in June last year. So there are no plans to bring back the GST.
According to several news reports, some political leaders have supported calls by economists for the GST to be re-implemented in order to invigorate the country's economy. Previously, the Finance Ministry said the government projected the collection of the SST to amount to 22 billion ringgit this year. If achieved, the amount would only be half the 44 billion ringgit collected under the GST by the Barisan Nasional government in 2017. U.S. internet giant Google agreed a settlement totaling $1 billion to end a tax dispute in France under an agreement announced in court on Thursday. The company will pay approximately $554 million for tax evasion, as well as a further $516 million to settle claims with French tax authorities.
In a statement, Google confirmed the settlement and hailed the fact that it had put an end to fiscal differences that it had with France for numerous years. The settlement follows similar out-of-court agreements reached in Italy and Britain by Google in recent years, though the French agreement is much larger than the previous ones. Google said it now wanted to see a coordinated reform for a clear international taxation framework. The French Parliament in July passed a law taxing digital giants on their French operations, drawing an angry response from US President Donald Trump and threats of retaliation. But French President Emmanuel Macron said alongside Trump at the G7 summit in August that leaders reached an agreement on the taxation of tech giants, though the precise details remain to be worked out.
Last-minute buying lifted Bursa Malaysia to end in positive territory today, ahead of another long weekend. The FBM KLCI rose slightly by 0.25 of a point to 1,601.25 points, as investors focused on a few defensive consumer-type stocks. Now, on to stocks to watch. Destiny Berhad has a proposed private placement of 231 million new shares, representing up to 20% of the total number issued shares. This will put the company in a low financial risk position and induce a potential capital upside of 19%. Next, Maxis Berhad has teamed up with Cisco to jointly deliver a wide range of market-leading technologies for businesses in Malaysia. While this is a positive move, it is not expected to generate any meaningful earnings contribution to the group in the near term. Sunway Berhad has a resilient integrated real estate business model despite the down cycle of both property development and construction sectors. The company's growth outlook remains strong, backed by mature investment properties and underappreciated trading and healthcare businesses. Looking for an Insta-worthy spot in Malaysia? We'll be right back with the details. Stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. Terengganu has always been famed for its keropok lekor and nasi dagang, but many may not know about the existence of a fruit orchard where you can enjoy all kinds of local fruits freshly picked from the trees. Spread across a 20-hectare plot, the Dusun Warisan in situ offers a variety of tropical fruits such as mangosteen, rambutan, jackfruit, pulasan, langsat, dokong durian, and many more. Shakur Aziz has the details.
Located in Kampong Pelong, Dusun Warisan may look like an ordinary fruit garden. But as I ventured into the orchard, I was enchanted by the abundance of fruit trees planted throughout the land.
So there are more than 10 types of fruits here. So to those who want to enjoy the non-stop fruit eating experience, you just need to pay 50 ringgit per person and you can just eat all you want.
Visitors not only have the opportunity to enjoy fresh fruit, but they can also enjoy lunch packages provided by the orchard with an additional charge of 35 ringgit per person.
We have a villa up the hill facing the river. So for the villa, we charge around $250 the uniqueness in this farm. We have several others of durian such as Raja Pelong, the durian Kawin, durian kampung, and our focus is mainly on durian kampung.
The experience of eating fresh fruit while sitting by the riverbank is one of the main reasons that makes the location as one of the top spots to visit while in Terengganu.
I just understand that we are so lucky that this is the only one in Malaysia. Yeah, it's fresh fruit, right from how we pick down and share with the friends. This is a very natural greenery places with fantastic Malaysian wonderful fruits.
So for all fruit lovers out there, this place surely needs to be on your wish list. Now, if you are looking for a place that is Insta-worthy, the Breeze Sand Forest is one of the locations that should be on your radar. Located just beside the main road near the Hutan Simpan Jambu Bongkok signboard, the area is a newly discovered location where even some of the locals have never heard of it.
Okay, so for those who are looking for Insta-worthy background for your pictures, this is one of the places that you should visit. And while you are looking for your Instagrammable spot, you can also take a stroll along the area and enjoy the stunning scenery.
This place definitely reminds me of the dark forest, like in many Hollywood fantasy movies such as The Lord of the Rings. And right next to it, you will also find an open space with a very Insta-worthy background. After I am done with the photoshoot session, I took the opportunity to stop by at the Kampung Tepok in Kuala Nerus, one of the villages that still makes, plays and even organizes the Gasing Pangkah competition every year. Gasing Pangkah is a competitive Malay game of spinning tops. In the knockout or Gasing Pangkah, one must knock the top against their opponents to disrupt their movements. Both sides will then scoop up their tops and see who will outlast the other. The competition has now received the backing from the Tourism Authority in Terengganu, which saw the prizes gone up to 5,000 ringgit. Finally, before heading back home, I stopped by at the Warisan Sari, a traditional gamelan dance centre in Kampung Tok Jembal, to witness the gamelan dance performance. The man behind Warisan Sari, Tun Ahmad Faizal Tun Abdul Razak, said the venue provides space for the public to enjoy the gamelan art form, which was once exclusive to royalty and nobles. The gamelan dance is held every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and no payment is required. According to Tun Ahmad Faizal, the main objective of the activity is to draw the interest of the younger generation, especially school children who are less exposed to gamelan. Terengganu has proven to provide the best experience for those who seek fun and adventure, as it holds its own charms and splendor compared to other states in Malaysia. Despite rapid development and modernization, it is as if time has stood still, as the state retains all the rustic and idyllic charms so different from other tourist destinations. Shakur Aziz for 7Edition.
A bakery in Hong Kong is selling mooncakes sporting popular slogans from recent pro-democracy protests, a contemporary political twist on a gift traditionally given during the annual Mid-Autumn Festival. The making of the mooncakes wraps up 7 Edition tonight. I'm Zansha Rahazai. Till we meet again, and good night.